Where the shooting suspect worshipped condemned his alleged actions. Late last week, Crabapple First Baptist Church in Milton released a statement saying Robert Aaron Long's alleged actions directly contradict his own confession of faith in Jesus and the gospel. CBS 46's Ashley Thompson continues our team coverage in Milton. Good evening, Ashley.
Good evening, Sean. That's right. The church has been overwhelmed with attention, so much so that it's had to delete its online presence because church leaders say they fear for the safety of church members. And as you can see behind me, there are two police cruisers parked in the parking lot of the church. I spoke with someone who knows Robert Aaron Long, and he says he felt incredible pressure because of his religion. 21-year-old Robert Aaron Long, the man police say went on a deadly shooting spree at Asian spas, was tormented by his sex addiction, according to someone who lived with him. Tyler Bayless was in the same halfway house as Long in 2019 and 2020.
You're in these places, halfway house, of course, you're talking about, what are you in for? Swapping war stories, things of that nature. And so, of course, we got around to talking about his sex addiction, as he called it. He was a very, deeply religious person.
Police say Long frequented Asian spas around Metro Atlanta. Bayless tells me he would go after work.
Of course, not to be crude about it, but, one of the questions that pops up when you're in a room full of dudes is, is it because you've got a thing for Asian women or, whatever the thing is? And the answer to that was always no. He always said, no, it's not that. It's just where I know to go, was always the way that he described it.
Last week, police say Long confessed to murdering 8 people at massage parlors, mostly women of Asian descent. Whether the shootings were racially motivated remains under investigation.
I mean, the ideas that he had, right, about this is a deep sin and I'm falling out of the grace of God, and so on and so forth, that was agreed upon by his church.
Long's church, Crabapple First Baptist, now strongly condemning him, writing, "No blame can be placed upon the victims. He alone is responsible for his evil actions and desires. The women that he solicited for sexual acts are not responsible for his perverse sexual desires, nor do they bear any blame in these murders." But Bayless says Long felt incredible pressure from the church.
Of course, there's a racial component to this. How could there not be? But the idea that this was somehow ultimately motivated by, the previous administration and what they've had to say about coronavirus and things of that nature, I don't believe that to be the primary motivation at all. I think that most of it lies in the religious mania that he felt.
Now, in that lengthy statement from the church, they say they have removed Long from church membership. I did request an interview with the pastor of the church. They denied our request, but they do say they are working with law enforcement on this investigation. Live in Milton, I'm Ashley Thompson, CBS 46 News.
Ashley, thank you. And as we learn